And our next speaker is Meredith Oliver, and she has 15 years of home building sales and marketing experience as the president and creative director of Meredith Communications, a digital marketing agency specializing in home builder marketing. She holds a master's degree in communication technology and is the author of 3 books, Click Power, Fantastic Marketing, and Fantastic Selling. She's a 17-time presenter at the International Builders Show, including 6 appearances in the Super Sales Rally. And I would love for you to join me in welcoming Meredith, who is from Raleigh, North Carolina, a speaker, author, and a high heel lover, so my kindred spirit, CSP, MIRM, Meredith Oliver.
Please welcome to the DCX stage, Meredith Oliver, founder and president of Creating Wow.
All right. Hello. Hello, hello. So yes, I have been working in the home building industry for 17 years, and my role in that has really been as a tactician. What I do is help builders figure out how to take all of these great ideas that you're hearing about and actually execute on them in their marketing and in their sales departments of their organizations. You can follow me on Twitter at Meredith CSP, and yes, you can follow my high heel shoe collection on Instagram at Meredith Shoes 22. And so I speak and travel all around the country, speaking on marketing and sales, and I Instagram all of the shoes along the way, so it's fun. So talking about the customer experience, making it about the customer, focusing on the customer, the terminology that I use for that is fantastic. And so what I'm going to do today is share with you some ideas on how to bridge your online marketing with your in-person experience and make it about the fans, for the fans, and make it truly fantastic. Because when we do that, what happens is something that I call the fan factor, which is when the fans start doing the selling and marketing for you. And that's gold. So that's what we're going to work towards. So ROPO, our fans research online and they purchase offline. Most of my career, I've been helping with the research online portion. Some of the folks in the room know that many years ago, I was actually one of the sales managers for a company called homebuilder.com. That was one of the original parts that is now transformed into what we have today. It's incredible. And I would go out to builders' offices and say, hey, do you want to build a website? Hey, do you want to advertise online? Do you want to do listings? I would do all those things. And what I found was nobody did anything with the leads that were generated. And you know what's really cool is all these years later, here I am at BDX in the restroom, and I meet my, I'm sorry, I won't embarrass you. Well, maybe I'm going to. I meet my very first client from 17 years ago that literally put me in business, and I haven't seen her in maybe like 10 years, and Kelly is in the bathroom at the BDX Summit. Isn't that incredible? Kelly and her dad, Phil, launched my career. Because Phil came to me as a VP of sales and marketing and said, nobody's doing anything with these leads. Can you figure this out? And I was like, I don't know. Will you pay me to? He was like, yeah, I'll pay you to figure it out. And so the online sales counselor was really born in Orlando, Florida with Ingle Holmes and Kelly and her dad, Phil. And we did the deal, right? We did the deal. And so now all of you all over the country, you have online sales counselors, and you've got pretty good at the research online part, but the purchase offline, there's a disconnect. So I like to think of what I do as bridging the online experience to the offline. So we're going to talk about the offline experience today. Once they walk into your sales center, what happens? What happens at that juncture? Many of you have invested in interactive technology, yes? You have flat screens. How many of you have a flat screen, interactive touch screen in your sales office? Show me. All right, we need more. Kiosks, tablets, right? All of these interactive tools. Now, I won't make you raise your hand and embarrass anybody here, but now I want you to tell me, what's the adoption level with your salespeople utilizing the tools that you've invested in? 10%? 20%? Do you walk into the sales office and find that the kiosk is not plugged in? I tell by your laughter that that is true, right? In 2013, the term the self-service revolution was coined. And here's what's interesting is Tim this morning was talking about while we were in this massive downturn, a lot of things happened in the world and now we're catching up. One of those things is what's called the self-service revolution, which has led to the self-service expectation. When was the last time somebody pumped your gas for you? You pump your gas, right? Self-service. How about when you go to the airport? What do? You check in on the kiosk. Sometimes it's even faster, right, to use the checkout at the Target or grocery store, the self-service checkout. Now, some of you hate the self-service, and that's okay. That's all right. But there is, indeed, if you Google it, you will read bodies of research on consumers today having a self-service expectation. So Jimmy's talking about that they were going through this entire marketing process, and they're getting all of these touch points. The research online, purchase offline, they walk in offline, and there's tools there potentially for them to further educate themselves, but your salespeople don't use them, okay? 70%, this is what the current research is, 70% expect self-service on your website, on the online part. And 76% of customers say they have a better in-store experience when the salesperson is armed with and utilizes technology. I want you to put your antenna up and start paying attention. When does self-service work for you? When does it fail for you? Typically, it works best when there is an associate to do a guided or assisted self-service process. So that as you're trying to do your grocery checkout in your own checkout lane, right, doing self-service checkout, and the produce won't scan or weigh, you're able to get some help with that right away. That's usually the best combination. So your customers are expecting to be on your website receiving self-service, meaning to get answers to my questions so I can figure it out myself. If you don't follow the website thinkwithgoogle.com, you should. It's marketers in the room and researchers and experts in marketing. Think with Google just put out a piece of research about how we Google now the most important, detailed, personal questions that we used to ask other people, like how much medication we should take, or whether we should do this, or should we refinance or do credit. We used to ask our friends and family these things, and now we ask Google. Who doesn't know us? But they do. Right? So we have this self-service expectation, but we need guidance and support. Carl Rodriguez, CEO of the company that just did the research I was talking about, the in-store technology experience is no longer in its infancy, and if retailers aren't using these innovations, they are putting themselves at a competitive disadvantage. So here is the gap. The gap is your customers expect to be able to utilize some technology in your sales environment, partially self-service, partly guided and assisted, but yet our salespeople fail to use the tools. That's what we're going to solve. So let me give you an example of a personal sales story that I experienced that blew my socks off, and it just so happens the company's located right here in Austin, Texas, so it had to go in the speech. And Kendra Scott, for those of you that aren't familiar, is a jewelry designer, single mom who started her company out of her garage. It goes viral. She now has stores all over the country. Happen to be wearing some of her jewelry today because it's some of my very favorite. So the first time that I heard about Kendra Scott, I was at an Home Builders Association event, actually in San Antonio, Texas, and I noticed two ladies wearing very beautiful earrings that were quite similar. And I said, "Tell me about those earrings." And they said, "Well, these are Kendra Scott." And I said, "Well, who is Kendra Scott?" And they said, "Well." Then they told me the story. Before I knew it, I'm flipping through Pinterest, looking at various clothes and shoes and all the things that I do. Don't worry, guys, this has a point. I'm going through Pinterest, and I see some Kendra Scott. I pin it to my jewelry board. Well, of course, Pinterest is smart enough to keep serving you up multiple things of what you're looking at. Before you know it, I've got an entire jewelry board of Kendra Scott, and I'm sending links to my husband as suggestions for purchases. I go to a birthday party, I'm like, for our kids, and I'm standing over talking to the moms, and I say to the moms, "Y'all," because that's how we talk in the South, "y'all, these are the coolest earrings ever. You got to see these earrings." I show them on my phone, on my Pinterest jewelry board. They're like, "Mare, there's a store in our mall of Kendra Scott." I'm like, "She has a store in our mall? How did I not know this?" So I beeline it for the mall. I walk into the store. The store is gorgeous. Hello. So the first part of the story was detailing my customer journey of how I did my research online. I was on our website. I was on Pinterest. It was word of mouth, all of those touch points. Now I walk into the physical location, and I think to myself, for the sales associate's sake, I'm like thinking to myself, please don't suck. Please don't suck. I want to spend a lot of money today. Please don't ruin this for me, right? Because you never know. What if I walk in and they go, "How can I help you?" What am I going to say? "Just looking." That's going to ruin it. Don't do that. So I walk in. Ready? "Hi, welcome to Kendra Scott." Everything in this store is meant to be tried on, and we mean everything. You take it off the display. You take it off the tabletop. If you don't see it here, we'll open a drawer and get it out. Just start opening all the drawers until you find what you like. And if you really don't find what you like, you see this interactive touch screen over here? This is called our color bar. And here, you can select any stone with any metal of any size. Our jewelry designer will make it here right in front of you, and you can leave with your custom piece today. How does that sound? That sounds like I'm about to spend a lot of money, right? It was fabulous. So that's the experience. So how do we get our salespeople to do it? Number one, we've got to teach them to show, don't tell. Your salespeople are verbal in nature, and they want to tell, talk, but we are visual creatures. We're visual creatures. We need to see the visuals. So if we can get them to start using the interactive touch screens in the process to show the visual of what they're talking about, all right? Show, don't tell. Number two, timing is everything. So as I walked in, she greeted me enthusiastically. We chatted back and forth, and she almost immediately introduced the touchscreen, introduced the technology right up front. So if you're using technology in your sales centers, one of the key aspects is for the salespeople to bring it into the conversation, to make it part of the conversation. Of course, it's great for self-service, so if the salesperson's busy and engaged and somebody's in and they want to start browsing, so it's very easy at that point to say, "I will be with you just as soon as possible or in just a minute. While you're waiting, please browse our kiosk or our touchscreen to learn more about the neighborhood." If they're not busy, then have them introduce it right away. So introducing it, timing is everything. If you wait too late to take them to the screen, you've missed the opportunity. If you do it too early before you say hello or exchange information, it's going to seem cold. Number three, your sales folks need to sell the benefits of the piece of technology itself, of what it can do as we're using it. So what did the Kendra Scott salesperson tell me that the color bar did? Within one sentence, she clearly and distinctly was able to tell me, and this is our interactive touchscreen color bar. Here, we can make any piece of jewelry with any stone, with any metal of your choice. Clear, succinct, one sentence. So have your folks work on their one sentence, benefit-driven statement that says, this is why we use this. So as we are walking over to the kiosk or the touch screen or whatever piece of technology it is, we could say to the customer, here, this is our new home shopping guide. And as we flip through here, I'm going to be able to narrow down one or two plans to show you where we'll be able to take an interactive tour. Once we do that, if that feels like a good fit, we'll go walk a home site that would work for this. How does that sound? So one sentence, quick. Tell me why the technology is a benefit to me as the customer, and I might be more intrigued to use it. Flow and positioning is everything. If you've shoved it in a corner where they can't see it or it doesn't follow in the flow of the sales presentation in the model home, they're not going to use it. So that matters. Make sure that it's in a very highly visible place, it's easy to access, and that it makes sense as the salesperson is working through the sales office. And as we do with all things in fantastic selling and marketing, we have to make it about the fans. How many times have you heard a salesperson actually put down the technology? I don't know why I have to use this thing. My builder bought this and I'm supposed to show this to you. You think this doesn't go on, but when you coach and look at mystery shopping, it completely goes on. We have to make it about them and not about you. So I'm going to use this tool today to help find what it is that you're looking for and to make it a match for you. Ultimately, what your customers, what your potential home buyers want from you is they want you to be their super fan. They want to know that you are a super fan. You are a super fan of them. You're a super fan of this industry. I've been in this industry 17 years. This industry has given me my career. It has given me everything. It's an incredible blessing and honor. I am a super fan of new home construction. Nothing gets me more excited than what happens and what our industry does. It's incredible. Do your salespeople resonate and come across and connect with their people as super fans? They have to be super fans of your company and of the team that they work with. Those four things, all of that has to come together. And when that kind of passion and enthusiasm and excitement comes together with an incredible technology tool that helps narrow it down and select and visually brings it to life, are you kidding me? You can't help but sell a home. It is a beautiful, beautiful process. You can take a picture of this link. Or if it's easier, you can hand me a business card. I've got fantastic marketing and fantastic selling. The ebook versions posted at this link. They're yours, complimentary, my gift to you. If you prefer a paperback, hand me a card and I'll put them in the mail to you. I've also got lots of other resources and things there that you can take advantage of. I am thrilled to be here where it all started. And to connect the dots. And hopefully what I'd like for you to think about, as Jimmy so very, very eloquently said, is how do we make it more about them? Because when I walked in that day to Kendra Scott, it was all about me, and it resulted in me becoming a super fan of that organization. So, Melissa, I'm going to hand it back off to you. And welcome our next presenter.
Thank you.